Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating and often controversial world of Huawei. This company has been making headlines for years, especially recently. But what exactly is Huawei, and how is it still managing to compete against immense pressure, particularly from the US? Let's break it down. First things first, many of you asked about how and when Huawei was established. It's important to note that the detailed historical context of Huawei's founding and early years is not covered in the sources I have for this video. My information primarily focuses on Huawei's journey and challenges from around 2019 to the present day. So, while I can't give you the exact start from these specific materials, I can tell you a lot about the company it has become and how it's fighting for its future right now. So, what is Huawei exactly? At its core, Huawei is a global powerhouse in several key technological sectors. It's primarily known as a leading provider of telecom infrastructure, specializing in 5G and other network technologies. But Huawei is much more than that. It's also a significant player in consumer electronics, like smartphones, and is rapidly expanding into new areas such as cloud computing, artificial intelligence, AI, and even intelligent vehicle systems. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the US sanctions. Starting in 2019, Huawei faced severe restrictions from the US government. This ban effectively blocked Huawei from accessing advanced chips, crucial Google services like Maps and the Play Store, and key suppliers, including chip manufacturers like TSMC. These sanctions have created significant hurdles for Huawei. Supply chain restrictions. While Huawei has managed to make some progress with domestic chip production, for example with the Kirin 9000S and their Mate 60 Pro, it still lags behind the cutting-edge semiconductor technologies like 3nm or 5nm nodes, which are dominated by companies like TSMC and Samsung. 5G geopolitical barriers. Many Western countries, including the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe, have either banned or significantly restricted Huawei from participating in their 5G network rollouts. This has severely limited Huawei's growth in these highly lucrative markets, forcing it to concentrate its efforts more on China, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Consumer market struggles. Without essential Google services, Huawei smartphones struggle significantly in Western markets. Their homegrown operating system, HarmonyOS, is gaining traction within China, but it still lacks the global app ecosystem support that Android or iOS enjoy. Intense competition. In smartphones, Apple and Samsung continue to dominate the high end, while Chinese rivals like Xiaomi and Oppo have capitalized on the market gaps Huawei left. In 5G infrastructure, Ericsson and Nokia have directly benefited from Huawei's exclusion in Western markets. Even in cloud and AI, while Huawei Cloud is strong in China, it trails global leaders like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. So, how is Huawei still competing, even against such immense odds? Their strategy boils down to relentless innovation, a strong focus on self-sufficiency, and strategic market shifts. China's domestic market and self-sufficiency. Huawei benefits immensely from strong government support and a Buy Chinese policy for critical infrastructure within China. Their advancements in chip design through high silicon and partnerships with Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp., SMIC, are crucial steps in reducing their reliance on foreign technology. 2. HarmonyOS ecosystem. Huawei is heavily invested in building out HarmonyOS as a truly independent operating system, aiming for HarmonyOS Next to be free of Android code. They are aggressively pushing for a developer ecosystem, hoping it will carve out a strong niche, especially in China and emerging markets. 3. Innovation in new sectors. Huawei is pouring significant R&D into new areas. Their heavy investment in AI and cloud computing could position them strongly in enterprise solutions. Furthermore, their collaborations with automakers on electric vehicles, such as Aito EVs, highlight their ambition to become a key player in intelligent vehicle systems. Global South expansion. Despite Western restrictions, Huawei continues to dominate telecom infrastructure in regions like Africa, Latin America, and parts of Asia, where geopolitical tensions have less impact. One of the most striking aspects of Huawei's strategy, and indeed its very survival, is its colossal investment in research and development, or R&D. Huawei consistently allocates a massive 20 to 25% of its annual revenue to R&D. Let's look at the numbers. In 2023, Huawei spent 164.7 billion CNY, which is roughly 23.2 billion USD, representing 23.4% of its total revenue. In 2022, it was 161.5 billion CNY, about 22.8 billion USD dollars, making up 25.1% of revenue. And this isn't new. Even in 2019, despite sanctions hitting, they spent 131.7 billion CNY, about 18.7 billion bucks USD, or 15.3% of revenue. To put that into perspective, most major tech companies like Apple spend around 7% and Samsung around 8% of their revenue on R&D. Huawei's commitment is dramatically higher. In fact, in 2023, Huawei ranked 4th worldwide in R&D investment, trailing only Alphabet, Google, Meta, and Microsoft, and surpassing giants like Apple and Samsung. This immense spending is focused on critical areas. Semiconductors, developing their own high silicon and Kirin chips to find alternatives to US restricted technology, 5G, 6G, and telecom equipment, maintaining their leadership in network infrastructure and pushing into next-generation connectivity. HarmonyOS and AI, building an independent software ecosystem. Cloud computing and EVs, expanding into enterprise solutions and smart car technology. This high R&D spending is directly driven by the US sanctions, forcing Huawei to pursue self-sufficiency in areas like chip design and operating system development. It's also a key part of Huawei's long-term strategy to lead in next-generation technologies such as AI, 6G, and even quantum computing. This strategy is further bolstered by China's national push for technological independence. So, what does the future hold for Huawei? In telecom, 5G, 6G, Huawei is likely to remain a leader, particularly outside Western markets. But its aspiration for truly global dominance in this sector is constrained by ongoing political barriers. In consumer electronics, it's unlikely to regain its pre-sanctioned global smartphone dominance unless the sanctions are eased significantly, or HarmonyOS truly achieves widespread global adoption beyond China. In emerging tech, AI, EVs, cloud, Huawei shows strong potential, especially within China, but global expansion in these highly competitive and sensitive areas will continue to be difficult due to persistent distrust in Western markets. In conclusion, Huawei will undoubtedly remain a significant force, particularly within China and in select international markets. However, a full return to its pre-2019 global dominance, especially in consumer devices, appears unlikely without major shifts in geopolitical relations or a truly revolutionary technological breakthrough that allows it to produce next-generation chips without any reliance on US technology. Its future success hinges on its continued self-reliance, unwavering innovation, and its ability to skillfully navigate the complexities of the US-China tech rivalry. What do you think about Huawei's journey and its future? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, please hit that like button, subscribe for more tech deep dives, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.